Okay, so I have a lifelong dream of doing a certain creative project, but I'm not doing it.
All right, so now just stop there. How does that feel to you? I've got this lifelong dream that I am not moving towards. So we've got a whole bunch of processes that you need to do that will just reinforce that it's not getting done.
Okay, so there's a part of me that trusts that what I'm looking for in order to do this is inspiration and just have it be flowing.
Right now, how big is that part? Every now and again, that part shows itself to me. Every now and again, when I'm not thinking about it, when I'm getting satisfied about other things, it sneaks up on me, and for just a moment, I believe it for a moment, but when I really think about it, I trample it with reasonable thoughts that are flawed premises. It's true, isn't it? So keep talking.
Okay, so
let's sort this out.
So what I have been looking at...
Do her words sound familiar? In other words, lifelong dream. We have some questions for all of you, and we're not mocking you. Well, we are a little bit. So, a lifelong dream. Does that sound like an important thing or an unimportant thing? A lifelong dream, does that sound harder or easier? A lifelong dream. So let's use all the words. I've got this lifelong dream. Now we'll say the words that you really mean. That if it doesn't happen, I will just curl up and die. We exaggerated a little bit, but a lifelong dream. I've had this dream for my whole life and it hasn't happened yet. A lifelong dream is a dream that's so big that I intend to keep it alive even though I don't get it year after year after year after year after year after year.
So that's right.
But what we want you...
So what I'm saying is...
But what we want you to get from all the antics that we're offering up here, what we want you to get is, I'm a creator that is flowing toward a never-ending stream of new ideas of what I want. There is no such thing as a lifelong dream. What there is a continuing stream of new ideas that keep becoming cooperative components of others. As you've lived life, you've put a lot into your vortex, and they're all swirled together, and they are cooperative components one to another. Let's go further. We've made our point. You got this lifelong dream, and...
Okay, so sometimes I think about it and I say, well, maybe I should just let go of that because I'm not doing anything about it. So
are those thoughts satisfying? No, they're just satisfying and they're accurate, so let go of it. But we're not asking you to let go of the dream. It's a slam dunk. We're asking you to let go of the thought that is thwarting the dream. That's all we're asking you to let go of. We're just asking you to give your lifelong dream a chance by acknowledging that it's there and by stepping back into enough general statements that you do believe. Do you believe that this vortex is real?
Yes.
Do you believe that there is a vibrational reality to this dream? Do you believe, even from what you've heard today, that your inner being is all over it? Do you believe that your inner being believes in your ability to live this dream? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that your inner being knows what your path of least resistance is for it to unfold in a pleasing way for you?
Yes.
Then is there more for you to do other than to stop getting in the way? Is there more for you to do? We're asking you all this. Is there really more for you to do other than get out of the way? If you believe you've asked for it, and if you believe it's answered, then is there anything for you to do other than to stop thwarting it by trying too hard? And by trying to make it a physical reality right now instead of letting it be the seed in the ground that is going to grow a little bit before it begins to sprout underground, and then it's going to stick its little head up and not be worth eating for a while. Are you willing to let these thoughts turn to things? Or does it need to be a thing before you believe it? Does it need to already have turned to a thing before you let it ring your bells? Do you have the ability to be satisfied even before it has become this reality? Because if you have the ability to be satisfied even before it becomes reality, then there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. But if you need it to be a reality before you feel that way about it, you're going to be a mediocre creator like so many humans who just bip along and let themselves have the things that they believe most people can have for whatever reason.
Would you say that getting control of your thoughts and using your thought as a mechanism and really being conscious about that. Is that efforting or?
Yeah, trying
Okay.
too hard. So what's the other alternative? Caring about being satisfied, knowing what feels satisfied, and then feeling around until I find the satisfying spot. Feeling your way to it rather than thinking your way to it. Just feel your way to it. Just ask yourself. Esther's begun doing that in meditation because we've been talking a lot about meditation puts you in the receiving mode, and Esther knows she wants to quiet her mind, but often, almost as soon as she sits down, because she's good at this, she quiets her mind and thoughts start streaming. And so she stops and actually consciously asks herself, is this stream satisfying? And if it is, then she knows she's already achieved the receiving mode, and then she just listens to the satisfying thoughts. Just listens. Have you ever had someone, Esther was talking about with Tracy, the kids will say, tell us a story. She's really good at just making up a story. So satisfying. Just so satisfying. Have you ever just listened just for the satisfaction of listening? Well, your inner being will tell you a story. Your inner being will give you words or give you impulses or give you feelings. So if you feel satisfied, then just sit there for a little bit and acknowledge that you feel satisfied and let it sort of wash over you. Let more come. Let more momentum happen about it. And then before you know it, you'll be walking around outside the 15 or 20 minutes of meditation. That's really all we encourage in a day. You'll be walking through an airport and feeling satisfied. Sitting on an airplane and feeling satisfied. And feeling satisfied so much that someone brings you a hot bottle of water to hold under your blanket? Really? Really? Someone goes to that extent because you're already satisfied? So the only interaction that this person could have with you is to somehow enhance your satisfaction just a little more? You got to believe that your inner being wants to enhance your satisfaction. Your inner being knows what you want. Keywords we offered and you didn't quite hear them, but we want you to. Your inner being is guiding you, inspiring you, flowing to you, affecting your chemical factory, affecting the chemistry of your being, affecting your mood, affecting the way your muscles fire, affecting everything about you, affecting the clarity of your mind. Your inner being is offering all of that, all of that, all of that, all of that. And the more that you are allowing, then the more you are receiving of that. And then the more detailed your impulses become. But there's nothing wrong with just letting it be so general. Why are you so happy? I can't even tell you. I can't even pinpoint it. There's just so much. Well, give me some examples. Don't make me. I might lose it. I just feel satisfied. I just feel good because this is who I naturally am. And right now, I'm not doing anything to get in the way of that. What we're talking about here, it's the fine line that you all have been asking about for all of the years that Esther's been allowing us to flow in this way. I am the creator of my own reality, and so I want to be a deliberate creator. And then we say, yes, let's call this the science of deliberate creation. The science of deliberate creation. Science because it is ever unfolding, and deliberate because you want to think about what you want to think about, and creation because the results are you get what you want. Well, that's all well and good, but you all work too hard at it. You'd think a thought and you'd better cancel that thought before law of attraction gets hold of it and give me something I don't want. And so then we began calling it the art of allowing. The art of allowing. Step 1 is done. Step 2 is done. Step 3 is you got to get in the allowing, the receiving of what you've already asked for. And step 4 is just getting really good at that. And step 5 is having mastered what allowing is and caring about being satisfied and looking for satisfaction in the easy places, in the easy places, in the easy places. Don't look for it where it's hard. Don't triumph over it because you won't win. Just look for it where it's easy and find it where it's easy. And let the things that are easy to be satisfied cause you to create a vibrational atmosphere that lets everything you want in. The easy things will help you create the atmosphere. And once you're in alignment, then the things you thought were hard that aren't can flow in. But most people, when we call them here, give us the thing they're the most worried about, the issue. I've got this issue. We say, oh, good. Let's fail together here. Let's take the subject that you have the most resistance in the whole world about, and let's try to hammer it into alignment together. while the audience squirms while we do it. Or let's talk about things that are satisfying. Let's practice what being in the receiving mode is, so that in the hours that follow and the days that follow and the weeks that follow, you can witness the thoughts turning to things, and you can make the correlation. You understand the relationship between what you accomplished vibrationally and what comes next. Really good. You all have heard here today the most comprehensive conversation about what creation really is and what your role in it is. And what is your role? Your role is twofold. Your role is ask, which is contrast, and allow or receive, which is chilling out, which is being satisfied. And every moment you're doing one or the other of those. Humans do so much step oneing. For some reason, step one is where you think you need to be, because in step one there's clarification and all of that. Well, step one really is, we'll give it to you, step one is where all the creation happens, because it's where all the asking happens. And once you've asked, it is given. So that really is where it happens. But for you to let it in, you got to be in that step three, in that chill place. And so where does it feel to you right here, right now, in light of your life, in light of everything we've talked about here today? Where do you want to deliberately be, step one or step three? And won't life put you in step one plenty? Do you really need to go looking for trouble? It'll just keep showing up, because no creation is ever complete. So you're going to obviously have continuous step one moments. But as soon as you have them and you've launched the rocket and felt whatever you felt about it, then give it a rest. Don't keep hammering away at it, because now it's in the system. Now it's in the machine. Now your life sifted it out, and you launched the rocket, and now it's in the hands of your inner being and law of attraction. And just like the seed in the ground is following its natural instincts. And now your job is to support the creation of it in any way that you're inspired to do. So if you are a farmer planting your first seed, you'd feel inspiration to water it and tend to it and maybe pull the weeds out from around it. You may be inspired to action. We're not saying you're not going to be inspired to plenty of action. But when the action comes, it's satisfying, because every action that comes from that inspired place is action that will produce results that are obvious and visible to you. So the satisfaction isn't just blindly sitting back and quieting your mind and feeling good because you're not thinking about bad things. It can be that, and often it's the beginning. But then the satisfaction comes from the ideas flowing and the rendezvous happening and the momentum building and things starting to show up and it beginning to take shape right before your eyes. You've all had plenty of those experiences, haven't you? Enough?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, really good.